A diversion. That's what a federal judge called Donald Trump's Justice Department's request to unseal the grand jury testimony in the criminal case of Ghislaine Maxwell, in which she was convicted of sex trafficking for and with Jeffrey Epstein, who said he was Donald Trump's closest friend for 10 years.
Today, we're diving into one of the most bizarre political distractions of recent years: Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and what a federal judge is calling a diversion. Let's break it down.
Diversion is what Donald Trump is all about now more than ever. Donald Trump doesn't want the news media attention on his old friend Jeffrey Epstein and what the Epstein files might say about Donald Trump, where we know Donald Trump's name appears multiple times because his attorney general told him that.
So why does this matter now? Because Donald Trump seems desperate to keep attention away from what might be in those Epstein files, especially anything about him.
Donald Trump is going to put 200 National Guard troops on the streets of Washington, D.C. That means there will be more hotel doormen on the streets of Washington, D.C. than National Guard troops. There are 3,400 Washington, D.C. police officers in addition to 1,800 Capitol police officers, bringing the total uniformed police officer count in Washington, D.C. to 5,200, without even counting the hundreds of federal uniformed officers working in law enforcement in Washington, D.C., thousands of them actually as U.S. Marshals, Secret Service agents, FBI agents, and others. And so the 200 National Guard troops who will be on the street are just a photo op. He'll have to send 800 total in order to cover the 8-hour shifts, but only 200 at a time will be on the street, and that will just be for the pictures.
Let's be clear, D.C. already has over 5,000 uniformed officers. 200 National Guard troops won't change security, but they will make headlines.
Ghislaine Maxwell remains the only child rapist in history who received well wishes from a president of the United States. Donald Trump said, "I wish her well," this was after she was charged with sex trafficking and after she was charged with sexually abusing children. That's when Donald Trump said, "I wish her well." And so Donald Trump's attempts at diversion have become ever more frantic. Donald Trump is using tariffs. He's using Vladimir Putin now. He's using whatever he can think of, whenever he can think of it, to create the kind of diversion that a federal judge found today when he denied the release of the transcripts of the Ghislaine Maxwell grand jury.
Think about that. A sitting president wishing well to someone convicted of sex trafficking minors. That's not a slip of the tongue. That's calculated.
The judge described the testimony to the grand jury without quoting any of it and reduced it all to this statement: "There is no there there." The judge read the grand jury transcripts and wrote this in his ruling: "The court's review confirmed that unsealing the grand jury materials would not reveal new information of any consequence." There's no there there. There's no new information in the grand jury transcripts. That's what the judge told us today, and that is what Donald Trump already knew before Donald Trump's attorney general and Donald Trump's deputy attorney general, who used to be Donald Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer, asked to have those meaningless grand jury transcripts unsealed. They knew there was no new information in the secret grand jury transcripts that was not already revealed at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. They knew that everything in those transcripts came out in public testimony in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, where Ghislaine Maxwell did not dare testify under oath in her own defense.
So, in the end, the so-called bombshell transcripts were nothing, but the request to unseal them, that was the real story, a political diversion to protect an old friend.